So we are going to be going over different ways and different tips to get more power on your ground strokes, to get more power on your forehand, two-handed backhand, or one-handed backhand. So let's get started. Where does power come from in tennis? All the power comes from your legs. What many people think is that they need to swing really hard with their arms. In tennis, none of the power has to come from your arms. All the power comes from your legs. So if you guys want an easy tip to generate more power on your ground strokes, just get into your legs. So I want you to think when you're getting into your legs that number one, say I'm 6 feet tall, right? So what I want to be on court is I want to be 5 foot tall, right? I want to be low, have a lower center of gravity. I want to have my legs bent, and I really want to think I'm pushing into the ground, and then when I hit, I'm pushing off the ground, okay? Once again, I want to push into the ground, and then I want to push off the ground. So I'm going to get into my legs for this forehand. By getting into these legs, I can get more power on my shot. Same thing for the backhand, right? So I'm going to turn. I'm just going to, again, stay down, get into my legs. 2 more, stay down, into the legs, and 1 more. Again, where many players go wrong is that they want to hit hard. They start swinging as fast as they can. They grip their racket super tight and try to hit hard. No, if you guys want to be more powerful on the court, you have to get into your legs. Keep your arm loose. Let the racket work for you. Just get in your legs. All the power comes from the ground up. You really are pushing into the ground and off the ground. I like to tell all my students, if you guys are on court and your legs aren't sore, you have to use them more, right? If your legs aren't sore, you have to use them more. I want you to think of, next time you're on court, if you're trying to generate power, I want you to think of it like a leg workout, okay? Use those legs. All right, so tip number 2 is allowing your body to rotate more. If you guys can allow your body to rotate more, you will get more power on your shot. The more rotation you can have, the more power you're going to get. So there's a couple simple tips to get more rotation on your shot. Let's get started with tip number 1. It's the toe tip. So what I want you guys to do is you guys are going to swing, right? And once you guys are done, you're going to pivot your back toe. Sorry, when you guys are swinging, you want to pivot your back toe. So watch, I'm going to swing for my forehand and pivot my back foot. As you can see, my back foot is turning. I like to call this squash the bug, right? So when I swing, I'm going to pivot my back foot. By pivoting my back foot, it allows my hips to rotate across my body. So I'm going to pivot the back foot and rotate my hips. It's going to be an easy way to get power. So I'm going to demonstrate right now. So I'm going to swing, pivot my back foot. 2 more, swing, pivot my back foot, and 1 more, swing and pivot. And you can do the same thing for the backhand. So here we are. So I'm going to swing and pivot the back foot. Let's go. So I'm going to swing, turn, pivot my back foot. 2 more. I'm going to turn, pivot my back foot, and 1 more, turn, pivot the back foot. So guys, just to recap, number 1 for more power, you want to get into your legs. Number 2, we worked on the foot pivot. If you could pivot your back foot, it's an easy way to generate more rotation on your hips, which in return will give you more power. Now, let's talk about the hips, all right? Shakira, Shakira, Shakira. Hips don't lie, right? Hips do not lie in tennis as well, okay? So when you guys are hitting your forehand or backhand, I want you to think about your hips and where they are facing. So watch. When I turn for my forehand, my hips are parallel with the baseline. They're facing the side gate or anything that's on the side of you, right? And then when I swing for my forehand, look, my hips are facing forward. Once again, I'm going to turn for the forehand. My hips are facing sideways. And then when I finish my forehand, my hips are facing forward. 2 more. Hips are sideways, hips are forward, hips are sideways, hips are forward. So if you can be mindful of your hips and start to learn where your hips go and really think about it, you will get more rotation and in return more power on your forehand. Same thing for the backhand. So what I'm going to do is when I turn, I'm going to really think my hips are sideways. I'm going to do this for one-hander. All these tips, they work for two-hander and one-handed backhand. So here we are. So my hips are sideways, and then when I finish, my hips are forward. 2 more. My hips are sideways, finish, hips are forward. 1 more. Hips are sideways, finish, hips are forward. Guys, I want to do 3 more because I want to get 3 in a row for my Instagram preview. So here we are, right? So my hips are sideways. I'm going to finish forward. 2 more. Hips are sideways. I'm going to finish forward, and 1 more. I missed it. That's okay. Missed 2. I'm not a one-hander. I'm a two-hander, but I know how to coach a one-hander. So guys, once again, if you guys can turn your hips, you will get more power on your forehand and on your backhand. Another tip, right? If you guys want more power, you have to accelerate the racket, right? You have to swing faster. You don't want to hold the racket super tight. That's why I say get into your legs. But you do want to be able to generate as much racket speed as you can. And that's by really letting the racket go, okay? I'm not sure if my mic is going to pick this up, but in all my in-person lessons, people who suffer from lack of power, they swing the racket so like casually, right? They're not swinging with any momentum whatsoever. So getting back to the mic, I want you guys to hear the racket do a whoosh. If you can't hear your racket in the wind, the air going against your racket, you're not swinging hard enough. So when you swing, you want to hear a whoosh. Let's see if the mic picks it up. So see, I'm swinging hard, I'm hearing a whoosh. If I'm not swinging hard, it's going to, you can't hear the racket. So you need racket speed. The more racket speed that you have, the more power that you're going to hit. Let the racket go, let the racket go. Okay, so after that, after you have the racket speed, you get in your legs, you pivot your back foot, you use your hips. If you're doing all that, the ball might be going out, right? And the reason why why many players, when they try to hit hard, the ball goes out, if they're loose. If you're tight, the ball is going to go out. But if you're loose and the ball's still going out, it's because you're not following through. So many players that suffer from power, what they do is they swing and they stop their racket. Once again, they go to swing and they stop, swing, and they stop. As I mentioned before in this video, you have to let the racket do the work, right? You don't work for the racket. Let the racket work for you. So what I want you to do for your forehand and backhand is just make sure you follow through. I'm hitting some bad shots. Make sure you follow through every single time. Once again, for the forehand, I'm just going to make sure every single time I'm following through. The more I follow through, the more power I'm going to get. The same thing for the backhand, right? So the more I follow through for my one-hander or my two-hander, the more power I'm going to get on my shot. So guys, follow through. If you do not already follow through, if you start following through, you will get so much more power, okay? Now, let's work on going forward. If you can finish forward, more forward, you will get more power. Think of it in any contact sport, football, boxing, MMA, baseball. What do you want to do? If you're tackling someone, if it's American football and you're trying to tackle someone, right? You want to go forward to them. If you're boxing right now, if you're Floyd Mayweather, if you hit someone, you want your hand going forward, right? If I'm trying to punch someone, I hit someone, I move to the side, I want to break my hand, right? You want your contact going forward. So many tennis players, they struggle with this. What they do when they swing is that they hit and there's bodies going to the side. All my momentum is going to the side right now. So it's really hard. I have to use my arm to get enough oomph to get it over the net, right? I want you guys to finish forward. If you guys finish forward, you guys will be able to get some more power on the shot if you don't already do. So when you swing, finish forward. Once again, I'm gonna swing, finish forward. One more, I'm gonna swing, finish forward. And note, right, I'm finishing forward. My body's not down, I'm just going forward. So I'm using my whole body, I'm using all my momentum by finishing forward every single time I hit. So if you guys want some more power as well, make sure that you finish forward. Now, let's work on, again, using our body, right? Stepping. If you guys can step into the ball, and again, we're working on, the step is for close stance. Clearly you can hit an open stance forehand or open stance backhand, but if you guys want to really get some power on your shot, step into the ball, close stance, right? So what you guys want to do, if you're a right-handed player for the forehand, you want to step with your left foot and then hit. Once again, I want to step with my left foot and then hit. One more, step with my left foot and then hit. Guys, if you're a left-handed player, you're going to step with your right foot and hit, right? It's the opposite. For the backhand, if you're a right-handed player, you want to step with your right foot and hit. So I want to step with my right foot and then hit. Right foot and then hit. Right foot and then hit, okay? So, and again, if you're lefty, then you're going to be stepping with your left foot for your backhand. If you guys can step into the ball, it's an easy way to generate power. So many players, they don't use their legs enough. They don't use their momentum, right? They don't let their racket rotate. You got to use everything that you have and not your arm strength, right? So if you can step, you're going to get your momentum forward into the ball. Second tip on the step, right? If you can start back a little bit and then move up to the ball, you're going to get more power. Let's try that again. So I'm going to start back and then I'm going to move up to the ball. One more. I'm going to start back and then I'm going to move up to the ball. If you guys are moving backward or if you guys are stationary, you won't have momentum, right? If you guys can start a little bit back and then move forward and move up to the ball, you will get some more momentum to get more power on your shot. So once again, try to start a little bit behind the ball so then you can turn and move up to it and get more power. I gotta do it again, right? So I gotta get under that ball. So I gotta turn and move up to it. One more, here we are. So I'm gonna turn and move up to the ball. I just taught like, what, 7 lessons today, so I'm super tired trying to knock out this video. So my demonstrations might not be that great today, but that is what you need to do. You need to move forward into the shot. What too many players do is that they're moving backward, right? Try to tackle someone going backward. If I try to tackle you going backward, you're gonna lay me out. Or if I try to punch moving backwards, it's not gonna work, right? Same thing for tennis, right? So you need to be moving forward. And if you can start back a little bit, it'll give you some more momentum and power, and in return, power to hit your shots, right? So that's what you want to do. So just to recap what we went over, right? Power is what? Letting the racket do the work. The number one source of power from a tennis player is your legs, right? So step number one, if you can use your legs, you will get more power on your ground strokes. Think, you want to get low. If you're 5 foot tall, you want to be 4 foot on the court. If you're 6 feet, you want to be 5 feet, right? You guys want to be a foot shorter than you already are. Step number 2, right, is squash the bug, right? So what you want to do is you can pivot your back foot on your forehand or your backhand. It's an easy way to generate power. Then what you can do, right, is make sure that you follow through. So every single time you want to let your racket do the work. Guys, once again, if you guys don't already follow through, if you follow through, you'll be able to generate more power. Rotation equals power. Also, we can think about our hips. So if our hips are sideways, then you want to finish with your hips forward. We can think more about rotation, you will get more power. Also, you guys want to stay down when you hit, right? So I want to be going forward. And number 3, I want to be getting momentum in the ball. So start a little bit behind the ball so you can move up to it and then hit. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the comment below. I'll do my best to get back to you. I just dropped the top 50 tennis tips. I used them in over 1,000 of my lessons last year. It's a free download. I put the link in the description, so feel free to check it out. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for tons of free, interesting tennis content, Instagram Reels, everything like that. So have a good one and happy hitting.